Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be bringing you a book review, which is not something I do very often, but it is something that I wish to practice to do so that I may get better and do these more often. Especially in this case because I was sent this book in exchange for an honest review. Hold on just a second before we get into this review. I'm just in the middle of editing and I made a huge blunder and sang the wrong title of this book. The book in question is The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. The first time I recorded this, I got the book title wrong, and I will tell you why. Because I was comparing books I like with I put books into categories of books I like, so I would put this book in the same category as Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng and The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. Just putting that out there because I forgot to mention that in what you're going to see. So the first time I recorded this, I accidentally called this book Everything I Never Told You because I'm an idiot. This is her debut novel, and I was a little nervous to read it because, you know, she emailed me and I was just like, I hope I like it. I really would hate for me not to like it because that would be awkward. But, spoiler alert, I loved this book. I have been wanting to get into literary fiction a little more because I do delve into young adult quite a lot, just because I think it's easier to read. But I do want to read more books that make me think and question things and just get into the complexities of the human condition. I think this book does that. It makes you think a lot. At least it made me think a lot. I did take my time with this book. This book was beautiful in my opinion. Just the way the words are painted on the page, though I wish I had a physical copy while reading this because I did feel that little disconnect because I did read it off my Kindle, but I will be purchasing this book and rereading it in the future in physical format to get the full effect that I want. The book definitely paints a beautiful picture. You get the sense of atmosphere from this small town of Ohio where the book takes place, and just imagining the heat. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I've given a brief synopsis of this book in I think it was my book haul that I did for the month of June. But basically this is a story about a boy named Fielding Bliss who befriends the devil, who has come to this small town of Breathed, Ohio, and the devil comes upon invitation. And with this invitation and the arrival of this boy, the heat comes. It is the middle of summer in Ohio, but the heat is scorching and unbearable, and combinations of things, it just does things to people. And this takes place in 1984, so just imagine Ohio, the United States at that time, and that'll help you out just a little bit. So Breathed, Ohio is a predominantly white neighborhood, and Sal, the devil, is a 13-year-old black boy who comes to town saying that he's the devil. You can imagine the gratitude that has on the people and patrons and citizens of Breathed, Ohio, and how people might react. You have combinations of the heat, you have freak accidents that happen, and just things that happen, and so people are people, and they react like people. This book had a nice way of building up that tension and just waiting for everything to break and seeing what would happen, because I was not sure exactly what would happen in the end, and I'm not going to spoil it for this. I encourage you to read this book yourself. Apart from the issue of Sal being the devil and the whole racism category, there are other things that this book deals with, basically like sexuality and racism and ideas of redemption and what kind of life you deserve, in self-reflection and allowing yourself to have a shred of happiness and the things that hold you back. The different characters that you meet in this book and the perspective that Sal helps give these people of how they live their lives. It's like having a community and having an outsider come in and be like, hey, that wall's yellow, but nobody has a concept of yellow. Sort of something like that. Apart from this book being amazing, in my opinion, I did have one con, and it's probably just a personal thing, but I felt that there were too many people with quirks or something of note. Like, each individual that was introduced had something about them that was very quirky or odd or different, whether it be their name, their attitude towards life, their disposition, whether they are a little person or they were cheated on or something of that nature. And I understand that there's that necessity to have different things happen, but in such a small town, it was kind of weird. But that fact was very minor in comparison to me liking this book. So I love the writing. I want to say the prose of it was beautiful, and the way that it shaped the environment and the way it made you feel about the environment, especially with the heat. I would not like to be hot. It is the worst thing ever. And what the heat does to you and makes you, how it makes you react sometimes is just crazy. I love the way the story was told. They had this sort of way where they told what happened in that chunk of time of the summer of 1984, but also feeling Bliss, the main character, what he's like later on in life and how that summer shaped and molded him to be how he was then. And it sort of gives the foreshadowing of what could happen later in the book. I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed those parts of the book and trying to figure out just what was going to happen in the end, because I literally had no idea what would happen. It was not predictable for me at all. I do have to say that while I was reading this book, a couple thoughts came to my mind, mostly of, I wonder what so-and-so would think if they read this book. And so mainly I want to know what Marinas from My Name is Marinas thinks of this book. I hope she reads it. And Joss from Scribbles reads. I think both of them would like this story, but at the same time, if they don't, I would like to see what their thoughts and opinions of this story is, because both those women have an amazing voice attached to what they read. It's like they put the words into a blender, spin it around, and music comes out, where mine is just like, meh. Hopefully this review has made a shred of sense. I'm not that good at book reviews. I'm practicing. I'm trying to get better. Let me know what you want to know more about this book, and I will try to answer in the comments below, and then I will take that into consideration in further book reviews and things. But thank you so much, Tiffany, because I know you're gonna be watching this, for sending me this book. It's on the top. It's right up there with my favorites of this year. And good luck with your book launch. It is released July 26th. I will be getting a physical copy of this book when it comes out, and I will add it to my shelf because I feel that deeply about it. This is definitely a book that's gonna sit with me for a while, which is a good thing. I like that about books. I love books that sit with me for a while. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!